Hello, everyone, and welcome back to at 909 English channel. Today, I'm going to talk to you about 5 things that you can practice every single day to improve your English. Learning a language is like learning to play a musical instrument. You can't just pick up a violin and know how to play it, or at least I didn't when I learned the violin. You have to practice a little bit every single day, and over time, you will improve and become fluent. You can't just practice loads the day before an exam and expect to be perfect at playing that violin. It's exactly the same for languages. The best way to learn a language is to practice a little bit every single day. In this lesson, I'm going to give you 5 different ways that you can incorporate English or any other language into your daily life. I think that quite a few of these you wouldn't have heard before. So let's get straight into it. Number 1, I am so excited to be able to mention one of my favorite things to listen to ever on my channel: follow an audio soap opera. What is a soap opera, I hear you ask? Well, I shall tell you. A soap opera is a daily serial or series dealing with the daily lives and events of the same group of characters, normally in the same location. Most commonly, they are on television. We have lots in the UK like EastEnders, Coronation Street, Emmerdale, but I'm recommending you listen to an audio one. And there's one in particular I would like to recommend. I really recommend a radio soap opera by the BBC Radio 4, called The Archers. The Archers. The Archers. It's special for so many reasons, not least because it is the longest-running drama in history. It was started in 1950, first aired in 1951, and also because I think it is absolutely perfect for English learners. It follows the daily lives and dramas of a group of fictional characters in the fictional countryside village of Ambridge. Each episode is around 12 to 14 minutes long. I'm not quite sure exactly how long, but it's definitely under 15 minutes. It's spoken in relatively clear English, in a variety of British accents, and sometimes not British accents as well, other accents. But it's fantastic because the plot summaries are posted on the BBC website. I will link all of this below in the description box. The great thing about this is that it deals with daily happenings, which is great for your life too, current events, routine things, and you can repeat all of the parts you missed. It's on every single day apart from Saturday. They have a rest. Once a week, they condense all of the week's episodes into one, and that's called an omnibus, and that's around 75 minutes long. I love listening to The Archers when I go running. I listen to it every single day, and if I miss one, I always catch up. There is no beginning and there is no finish to the series. There aren't any seasons. So it might take you a couple of episodes to get used to the storylines and to work out who is who and to recognize the different voices. Give it 5 or 6 episodes, and you'll feel really included. It's wonderful because it's free to listen to, it's beautifully produced, and there is a huge community of Archers fans. A lot of them are older, but a lot of them are younger too. If you search #The Archers on Twitter, big tip here, you'll see lots of people talking and discussing the topics of the episode, and maybe you can interact with them. So I'm going to leave the links for the Archers episodes and also the plot summaries in the description box, and I really hope some of you take up this opportunity to listen to a daily English audio soap opera. 10 to 15 minutes every day is definitely going to help your listening. It's going to help your pronunciation. It's just going to help your general enjoyment as well because it's a great program. Right, before I get too passionate, let's move on to piece of advice number 2. Number 2 is talking daily with natives. I bet so many of you are thinking, I wish I would love to talk to natives every day, but I don't know how, and no one seems to want to talk to me. Well, I have a couple of suggestions. One is paid for, and one is free, and the best thing, in my opinion, is a combination of both paid-for classes and language exchanges would be amazing because you can take what you learned and heard in the language exchange and verify it with your teacher for an extra layer of security to make sure that you're not making any mistakes. Now, on to tip number 3. Tip number 3, set yourself a daily word goal. Learn X amount of words every single day. This tip is really important because it also links to tip number 4. I have mentioned this strategy in a previous video, but I actually have a really important extra layer to this strategy that I would like to discuss with you. In order to build your vocabulary quickly, you need to learn at least one new word per day, but hopefully more than that. I've spoken to you before about keeping a word diary or just a notebook or a list on your phone. Keep it with you all the time and always be aware wherever you are. Do I know that word in English? Do I know how to say that in English? You might see a tree. Do I know how to say that specific variety of tree in English? If you don't, write it down in your own language in this book, in this list, and then at the end of the day, before you go to sleep, research all of these words and translate them into English. It will help you train your brain to always be hungry for English. After a few weeks, you will always be looking for new words that you can learn. Words that you didn't even realize you didn't know. Now there is something else that you can do with these words, and this brings me on to point number 4. Point number 4. Write a daily journal with a difference. Depending on your level, I would buy a paper journal or diary. I get so tired in the evening, I can't spend loads and loads of time writing. So I personally would buy a workweek planner or a homework planner or a study planner where you've got all 7 days across 2 pages. In each of those days, would write 3 or 4 sentences about my day, trying to incorporate those words that I learned in my daily word list, the words I mentioned in point 3. That way, not only are you learning the new words and learning what they mean, you're making sure they're fully integrated into your brain. Doing this before you go to sleep will mean they stick in there even more. Then you can wake up in the morning, read what you wrote the night before, and you've got those words fresh in your head, ready for the day ahead. It's honestly such a fabulous technique because it builds your vocabulary, improves your writing skills, improves your reading skills. If you search the pronunciation of the word, it will improve your pronunciation and your listening skills. If you book sessions with language teachers, you can have them correct your writing. So every week,